Era, oh my goodness gracious Lord Almighty. We are back again, once again, CFRU Studios, 93.3 FM, Vocal Kinetics. I'm Robbie G, your host, having a good time here. And we've got a co-host as well as going to get interviewed and all that good stuff with us here tonight. Ill Vibe.
Yo, what's good, Robbie?
Everything is gravy.
It is, man. We're having a good day today.
Yes, definitely. We were just out shooting a music video. One of the next tracks off my new album, Stay Grounded. It's called Once You Figure It All Out. It's some deep stuff. So
yeah, man.
It was fun. I climbed into a tree.
Yeah, we had you in a tree today.
That was cool.
We went and shot inside the buffet on some ninja styles.
Yes. And in a library. I did a cartwheel in front of the Church of Our Lady.
That was actually really dope. Your gymnastic skills are impressive to me. That's not something people know about you. Is that what the G in Robbie G stands for, gymnastics?
It could be. Yeah. It stands for multiple things. Goals is actually, I have an acronym for my name, so it's relying on brains, body, ideas, experiences, and goals.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The G is goals.
I actually didn't know that. Shit.
But on the same tip, gymnastics, I'm all about it, man. Did you see me on a trampoline, bro?
I have not.
Go all out, man. Backflips, front flips.
Future music video, we'll do some trampoline stuff.
I want to get into parkour, though, for real. I want to learn how to just do them flips on the ground, you know what I mean? Just go crazy. Have you ever watched parkour
I have.
videos?
No, they're really dope.
I think it's crazy. It's just, I've watched the Bale videos, and they got me a little...
I don't like falling. Falling's not on my list of things I enjoy doing.
A little tripped out. But that's the whole thing. It's about facing your fears, right? And being able to conquer that fear of like when I jumped across that gap.
Yeah, I didn't think you could do that.
Right?
I was doubting you.
Yeah. And that doubt made me want to do it even more.
True.
So I'm just like,
Robbie G jumped
this,
over a waterfall today. That's very impressive.
Word. Yeah. You got to add in those cool things to the music videos. You know what I mean? We're trying to figure out life, the meaning of life, and you can find that out easily by seeing if you can jump over a waterfall.
I totally agree.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
That's what's up. So, we just had a Wicked Weekend. How was yours?
It was fantastic, man. Weekends this time of year, I'm shooting all weekend. So I was shot a charity project with Matt Black on Sunday. And
Cool. What was that? What charity stuff?
It's called Heroes in Black, and basically they're...
I saw the pictures from it.
Yeah. So he's a musician from Toronto, and he was homeless once upon a time. So now he started this clothing line, and it's kind of like cool, trendy fashion. And for every hoodie sold, they give a hoodie to a homeless gentleman as well. So
nice.
We shot a promotional video. It was really cool. They had a massive cast of people, and obviously a huge support network behind this. So it's really cool, man.
It's very cool. Very cool. Lovely looking ladies in that too. I was like, wow, he's got some model friends up in this.
Yeah, it was the guys and the girls. Like the guys were all like super ripped, and the girls were basically supermodels. And the idea is that these are all musicians, actors, not the kind of people you think that would be out, marching for
homeless
people.
Yeah.
And so in September they're having the march of it's the Heroes March. I think it's September 14th, and people can look into that. Just Google Heroes in Black if you want to be a part of that, if that sounds inspiring to you.
I like that. I like that. You know what? There's so much to say about, I think, people's perceptions that get twisted about certain individuals that, are in the industry, like fashion industry and models and stuff like that, and thinking that they don't have a heart and soul too. You know what I mean? And I was just up in London. Shout outs to One Love TV. We did a little interview there, and he was telling me about this thing that he's setting up now is like he's interviewing models and kind of getting a little bit more deeper into the background story of it and like showcase the other side of things. What are they doing aside from just being a pretty face for people? You know what I mean? And I think there's a lot of that going on with because a lot of people that I meet that are even like in that kind of industry, even like strippers and stuff like that you would never think would be like helping out those types of people. You know what I mean? They're all about that. So
absolutely.
That's good. Word up. Yes. So that's good. Charity, shooting videos. Anything else?
It's I'm getting ready for Survival of the Illest.
Word up. Prepping. SOTI. You know what that is. It's coming here to Guelph. That's right.
August 22nd.
Look out.
We're going to be at Biggie's, and basically the 22nd version of SOTI it's basically a performance competition for the best hip-hop artists here in Guelph. So we got a bunch of young acts. They're all going to perform 10-minute sets, and then we're going to have some industry judges, Mike Guts and Sadie Marquis, and a bunch of other people who will pick their favorite 2 acts who will come back and do an encore performance song, which the crowd picks their favorite of that, and they become the illest, the survival of the illest champion for Guelph. And then we bring them down to Toronto, where they compete against all the other champions from the other 12 cities around Ontario and Montreal. And we find the illest, best upcoming new talent, and they win a pile of stuff, thousands of dollars with the music videos and photo shoots and media coverage. So it's kind of a good way to give back, and also we find in great young new acts and giving everybody exposure. So it's a lot of fun. So August 22nd, if you're a hip hop fan at all, come down to Biggie's and check that out.
Biggie's is a spot. That's good. Yes.
Shout out to Biggie's for being one of those loyal spots to independent Canadian hip hop, though.
They're
for sure.
Awesome. They're awesome down there. Definitely holding it down. And congratulations to last year's winner here in Guelph, which was Nameless.
Nameless, repping Acton.
Nameless. Shout out to Nameless.
Nameless just dropped a brand new track that's really dope.
Word up. We just cut a record together for the next album.
Word.
That is it's on some serious heartfelt stuff. Yeah.
Dope.
Big shout outs to Nameless, man. You always give me the goosebumps when I listen to your music, man.
Yes,
Word
sir.
up. He sent me a new link to a new track of his recently, and always big props. Nameless is the man. Word up. And SOTI, that is the brand. It's moving around the country, sweeping its name across there and getting young and talented artists out there a little bit more recognition, showing them some more key things that are, well needed to know in this industry. And you've been connected working for a while now. You know what I mean? You're not just starting out here. You've been getting your hands dirty, and that's good. You know what I mean? You have the experience to offer for these young artists. So it's good that you've created that platform and you're making this a good, a staple and something that people can look forward to as a means to showcase their talent.
Yeah, man, trying to build something bigger than me, then, it's kind of one of those things, and then when I'm gone, SOTI can kind of keep going. Someone else can pick up the torch and run with it. So it's trying to build some cornerstones of this industry that can outlast us, and it could be put up some ladders for some next people to climb. Make it that much easier for the next people coming up.
Canada is in desperate need of this.
Straight up.
Word up.
And and I know it, which is why we're 2 people on a list of people who are, I think, actually putting our money where our mouth is and trying to do something about that. So
yeah, man, putting events on, just doing what we can to push forward the culture and help out cities and scenes and giving opportunities for artists out there. That's the biggest thing is I'm an artist just like them. You're an artist just like them. That's why we develop these events that cater to artists, and they're artist specific. You know what I mean? They're meant so that you can build and get better as an artist and become, more than just your local rapper. You can get around and travel to different cities and get your music out there online, get music videos out there and start seeing listeners and viewers from all over the world, not just your backyard. And that's that's really clutch,
Yeah, man.
It's good.
I think when everybody writes a song, really what they want is that to reach as many people and touch as many people as possible. And that's why that first time when your song is played on a radio station is magic, It's not just your friends hearing it. And the first time, you find out your song is being played on the radio in another country, that's magic because you're not even in that other country, and there are people listening to your song, So I think that's what it's about. So anything we can do to help amplify if mostly you're going to release a song that's going to be your friends and the people in your city hear it. Well, if I can apply an idea that helps the people in, all of the nearby cities hear it, well, that could be a win for everybody.
Definitely. Win-win situations that we're trying to build here.
Yep.
Everybody gets a little bit out of it.
SOTI. Look me up on Facebook.
That's what's good. Facebook, the Facebook world, it is very, very big right now. And Ill Vibe is all over it. Trust that. Anytime you go on there, you are going to see an Ill Vibe post.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And you're gonna be able to get informed. That's what's good. And another thing on the weekend, Rakim show. Have to talk about that. That was incredible. Friday night. Magic of hip hop. Big shout outs to all the people that organized the events over there at the Phoenix, all that stuff. Wow. Rakim, great dude, solid. Just as I was saying to you earlier in the car there, just kept on wanting to perform. You know what I mean? He was just having so much fun, and that's what real artists are about, is they're up there and they're having a great time. They're rocking out with the crowd. The crowd's giving them a lot of energy, so they're running with it. And I love seeing that. I love being a part of that and just being in the crowd with them and just feeding that energy and feeling that hip hop love, that, you know, that's why we're doing what we're doing. And these types of events remind me all the time after, when I'm watching them on outskirts, just like kind of looking and just like, wow, the potential of this hip hop game, the possibilities, the fact that, you know, all he's doing is putting a pen on paper.
Yeah.
And then showing his stuff to people, and then look at the reaction. It's
nice to find a moment where you see the ceiling of how big it can be, you know? Like, you see at times what the struggle can be like. Is good to get to see how amazing it can be, you know?
The real hip hop too, because we all know about that bubblegum stuff, to be trying to get a lot of play out there and grabbing money to a lot of like people that are unsuspecting and don't really know the ways, and they're just listening to it like, oh, this is a good beat, this is a good. No, really listen to what they're saying, yo, and like pay attention to it. This like real music, it gets me down sometimes when I think that there's not enough album sales out there and stuff for the artists in Canada and all across the world that are making music with substance and real messages in it. And it's a blessing when I get a chance to see someone like Rocker Crowd and see people come out and support for them and just show that kind of love, because that just gives you that much faith that hip hop is still alive and well.
Absolutely, man.
Definitely. Loving hip hop right now. Word up. And on some more hip hop, let's play a little bit right now. I've got a Grieve CD in here. I played a little bit of him last week, I believe. A track that he did with Slug. Then we're going to get into some Atmosphere after that, some other tunes. And then, of course, we're going to play you some Ill Vibe while we're in this place, too. We've got 2 hours with homie right here.
Oh, snap.
2 hours in the building. Me and him are going to be chilling out, talking, some hip-hop shop, some knowledge, dropping all different kinds of cool stuff for you people. And then we've got a nutritional specialist on at 9:30 from London. So looking forward to that. Look out, you're going to get educated tonight, but also hip hop. It's edutainment, okay? As KRS-One would say. CFRU. Ha ha ha. D-O. Defy the odds. Solid dude, solid song right there, featuring Chad Hatcher.
Shout out D.O.
Yes. Down Home. Great album, great song, killer. That's my favorite one. Favorite one off the album right there, Down Home. And you did some video work for Dio as well, right? Off of this album,
yeah,
you've produced a couple of the videos. You did the intro one, which he had footage from when he was over in Europe,
exactly,
like Amsterdam and stuff like that, I think.
Yeah.
And then you also did the Nothing's the Way.
Nothing's the way that it seems.
Such a good song, featuring Chad Hatcher as well on that track. And yeah.
I'm doing the one with Maestro Fresh West.
Nice, never gets old.
Yeah, so that's coming up in the next couple of weeks. So I'm really excited about that. Maestro's one of my heroes. So, like, when I meet him, I'm excited. So when I got a video coming up, I'm like hella excited.
Yeah, that's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
Maestro's a good dude for sure. Big one right there, and that's such a dope track that never gets old. It's got Class, some Class vocals on the hook as well.
Yeah,
and obviously Classified produced this entire project right here.
That's so big. Like
big.
You can't even say how big that is. Like any one of us rappers would be flipping out if we got a Classified beat, and Dio had his entire album produced by Class. So that's.
And like not just produced like, oh, I'll make a beat over here and send it to you so you can write to it. It's like they made in the studio together. You know what I mean? Out in Halifax Enfield, where Class lives there, and in the studio just working on songs and putting them together and actually like coming out with like good quality material, not just, you know, rapping over some beats. These are
it's inspiring.
Songs.
It's good to see that level of project.
Definitely. And to see somebody, you know, as humble and down to earth as Dio, who's just been working super hard, continuously, to be able to put out a project like that, you know, that's big. And I remember the first time I've told this story probably like 3-4 times on the show already, but just the first time I ever met him was he came to my high school, actually, like when I was in grade 10 or 11, I think, and it was for an assembly, and it was like a music assembly thing. So it was him and the guitar player for Guess Who, the band Guess Who, cool. And then a couple other people, and it was like a little assembly on like music, and my guidance counselor asked me if I wanted to like perform on stage for it. So that was the first time I ever like rapped, was in front of my school. It's like 2,000 kids in the lunchroom.
That's the first time I rapped as well, was in front of my school assembly.
That's the way to do it, man. Just get those nerves out of the way and just rap in front of a bunch of people and see what happens. and never looked back since then. Definitely, and Dio's always been, a good dude ever since the time that I met him there. We've just been staying in contact. He's done a few interviews here on this radio show, so you can check those out in our archives. And if you're ever on YouTube, just search Robbie G interview Dio or interview with any of the artists that you want to hear.
Oh, it's on YouTube
here.
also.
There's lots of videos. Yeah, we'll have our interview, or at least a main portion chunk whenever we actually get diving deep into asking you some questions about let's why not, let's just dive right in. So you've got your latest project is out. You just released it.
So the two projects are released this year so far as my album, like my proper studio album full of original joints, is Proof of Life. It got D-Sisive on there, and Danny O and G Wonder, a track from Fat Lip, formerly of Far Side, some of my homies and some amazing vocalists. And then more recently, I just put out a mixtape, Cloud 9 and Falling, and both those you can get at illvibemusic.com. And that one's more remixes, like remixes and covers and fun mixtape joints I did with a lot of the homies from Tragic Philly Moves and all the dudes, C and Notion. Shout out to all those dudes.
Word up. It's good to just get music out there. I know, and as an artist, even when you're working on an album, you're still in such a creative mode, listening to other beats. You're just like, I'm just piling up more songs. I got to get out there somehow.
Man, having fun. Like, you're in the studio working on your craft, right? Because that's what we do at this point is we get into the studio and we work at our craft the way that an NBA player goes and shoots, free throws. And sometimes those practices turn into awesome songs, and it's like you got to do something with that stuff. You can't. For me personally, I'm not about like, I already released 12 songs, I'm good. I'm like, no, man, this is great and this is a part of me. I'm going to put it out there. That's what the internet's for. And so I'm really about that. I'm always creating and releasing material. Cloud 9 and Falling was like 21 songs. That wasn't the intention, but by the time it came out, I crept a few more songs on there, and then before you know it, you got a 1,000,001 songs. So I love that. I love making music. Definitely,
that's what it's all about. Just getting in there and getting creative and working on songs. So when you do get in the studio, how's your creative process kind of go? Do you do a lot of in-house production, or have producers work with you in hand, or do you get a lot of beats sent to you? Have you worked or dabbled with any production yourself? I know you do video production, obviously, but any beat producing or anything in how do you get a song put together?
That's been an evolving process. So in the beginning, I used to be the producer, and then a long time ago, I realized that there's people out there who are better than I was at that particular craft. And so it's like, let them handle it, you know. So many moons ago, I stopped making beats, and I still have an ear for it, and I can help like fine tune a beat and take a beat to a place where it becomes like a hit record, but I can't compose. I need one of the musical geniuses I work with to actually compose. So that's been evolving. So I have a new process that I'm doing for my upcoming album, Fire Breather. That's sort of like everything I've ever learned. So I've done 11 projects. And so I've learned a lot over the years, about like how I'm at my best. What's the best way to find and select and work with the beats to make hit songs that are polished and a perfect expression of what I pictured in my head. I want to get better at that. And so I think I finally got it down. I think this is the one. I think I finally got the process worked out. So I'm working with AAA Productions, Andrew AAA on social media, who I fully believe, along with Young K, who I know you work with, those two dudes are my votes for the best producers in the country. I think in terms of composing beats and listening to your requests and turning that into musicality, there's not a lot of producers I think who can do it on the level. So AAA is the guy that I'm currently working with on my project, and the level of hands-on that he gives me is really exciting. So I'm picking the sounds as we go. I'm giving him feedback. It would be great if it built up, and then so I'm actually getting to like feel the emotion of the beat as it's being produced and contribute to that. So now when I'm writing to that song, oh boy, that's I'm already way more emotionally committed to this beat, and like I'm writing and I'm throwing more away than I ever did before. So that's like the process is entirely changed already, just from the way that the beats have been made and selected. So I'm gonna follow that through and build from the ground up. So this album's gonna be, me involved at every phase, working with the best in every area, but me heavily involved. So same thing with the mixing. I have ideas and treatments digitally. How it's why I wanted to do this and this. Now I can't do that, so I'm gonna find a partner who can do that with me, much like AAA is doing from the composing side. But that's been the exciting thing for me, is now that I understand what I want to do and who I am as an artist, I want to be like a bit of a control freak and kind of like take it from the beginning to the end and see if I can't just make the perfect album, the one that is everything I always wanted my album to sound like, So that's Fire Breather, and I'm hoping to put that out this winter, December or January. There's no rush right now. I'm in the beginning phases, but working with Justin Main on the visuals already, working with AAA on the production, and I'm really excited about, I think, where this next little bit's going to go musically.
Definitely, yeah. Well, you're catching the traction, obviously, you know what I mean? Your name's getting out there a lot, doing all this video work with everyone. How important do you think yourself, this is one of the topics I really wanted to touch on with you here in the building, is this whole concept of networking and getting yourself connected with other artists, and the importance of, your approach in how you deal with things. Because I'm sure you've dealt with a lot of really hard-headed people sometimes, just people that don't understand how to approach somebody on a business level. A lot of artists in this game, I think, really need to understand the importance of how they talk to people, wearing certain hats in certain situations, you know what I mean? And how much has that affected your business and the ability to do what you love, which is make music, make videos for people, and do that for a living, whereas there's some of these other cats that want to get to that point, but they're just not there yet. And I think one of the key factors is this whole networking. So drop a little bit of knowledge on some of your expertise.
Well, that's a good question. And now to start, I come from a bit of a unique position in that everything that I do outside of rapping, because I know I'm a rapper like you're a rapper and 1,000 other people that are rappers, so we all have other skills, Tragic from Philly Moves is an amazing stoneworker, everybody has these amazing other skills. Now, some of those skills aren't applicable in this business. Unfortunately for those people, those skills in particular don't really come back and benefit them. Now, I worked in the advertising business for 10 years. I'm great with design and video production, and that stuff is super helpful in the hip hop world. So early on, it occurred to me that I could apply my other skills into this network that I'm so a part of. Even before we called it the network, even before Facebook took over, there's this linking of artists, and we all see each other at shows, and we check each other's music, and that's been going on for years. That is, Toronto hip hop and Canadian hip hop as a whole. And I saw an avenue where I could just at least offer what I do in my day job to these people, and potentially not have a day job anymore. And which is so now that is what I do, is I do what I used to do for companies like Pepsi and Mazda and stuff. And now I do that for, JDO and Robbie G and the hip hop artists in Ontario. So, I literally am at the whim of the network. I'm employed by my peers. I network constantly with my peers. That's what I do, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and obviously well beyond that. I contribute to the scene as a living. That's what I do, and then the scene gives back to me. Now, whether that's graphic design, I design logos. I designed logos for 2 hip-hop clothing apparel lines this week, in Toronto. And so that's what I do. I kind of contribute those skills I got from my day job and then I make a living in this little network. So I'm maybe the perfect example of how the network can be utilized to achieve your dream, because those, there is things right at your fingertips. There's all of these other people who want the same things that you want, and they believe the same things that you believe. And I, myself, and a number of other people, Justin Main being a really close friend of mine who does that also, JL Profit, and a number of other people who makes a living by contributing something. It's like you give in and you get back what you put in. And so there are people who, DO, who make a living in this hip hop industry. And I'm really excited and proud to be a part of that group, because it's admirable and it's very difficult to make a substantial living in the entertainment business in Canada anyway. So
definitely. So
if you want to be a part of that, to answer your question, networking is the number one thing. If you look at all the people who are making a living in this business, what is the thing that they're the best at? And it's networking. You know, it's before I ever met you, I knew who you were because of the way that you networked and reached out to other cities and other leaders in other cities, and you're building and working and connecting. And that's why Robbie G's where he is today. And 100% Ill Vibe Studios, you know, I've shot almost 250 music videos across the country, and that's entirely network based. All those people I met through social media. So, you know, yeah, it's the most important thing. If you're a good rapper, start learning how to network. And that doesn't mean spamming, and that doesn't mean low-level stuff. That means building relationships. That means if you have quality product, you need to make quality connections with that product so that people will remember you and respect you. That's what really promotion is about, and that's why you've been really successful.
Definitely. Same for yourself. Speak a little bit about making that connection happen, and not, like you said, don't just spam somebody. You know what I mean? When you're reaching out to them, genuinely send a message where you're like interested in working with that person. Message them saying, you know, I've heard this song that you did. I watched this video that you did, and, you know, I think I could take your product to the next level. Contact me type thing.
Totally.
What have been some of the key things that you've noticed when you message other artists, things that have worked and stuff like that, as far as gaining new clients and that kind of thing? And then also same thing for you when people approach you wanting business and they're like, yo, shoot me a music video, and they approach you on this like completely unprofessional level, like not mentioning compensation or anything like that, or just like, I'm a rapper, I'm dope, you should shoot me type thing. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man. Well, you know, definitely on that tip of like building connections and reaching out, you know, whether you're reaching out to your peers or you're reaching out to people you perceive to be fans, it's like, use common sense. So if you're sitting down, you get, you know, a message from somebody and they're just like, yo, new mixtape drop. Like, you're probably immediately annoyed and going to delete it. That's almost anybody's going to feel that way. And so don't be that guy, because if you actually think about it, that's not a really effective way. If you were reaching out to a woman and you wanted to get her attention, you would never be like, just like copy and paste spam at the, you're going to be like, go click her profile and be like, oh, she went to the beach today, and hit like that's, so you got to use that sense you use when you're chasing women at making connections with anybody. It's like, if they're another artist, be like, yo, what up? I've been hearing your name around the scene. You're obviously doing your thing. I would love if you checked out my new tune. If you hit a dude like that, even if he doesn't check it, he's going to remember that you are a pro, and how you move is like a dude that he would respect. So whether he checks your record or not, you're building a bit of rapport and a positive reputation for yourself. And same thing for fans. Like, if you're reaching out, you're just trying to get someone to check your music video, which so many people, you know, if you're a rapper listening, I get it, man. You want people to check that music video. I get it maybe more than anybody. You know, I want people to check my music video so bad. But spamming hurts you, because people make a little mental block, like they don't ever want to check you now, because in their head you've become this spammy nuisance to them, and they don't want to support you and help you get any further ahead. So, man, if you want to send stuff out, just make a moment and literally type it out. People can tell the difference. If you're going to reach out to every person, type a little message like, yo, what's up, Margaret? Like, I see that you're online. Like, I'd love for you to check it. People can tell that little difference between that and just this generic, yo, new video.
Just their name. That's my thing. Even if I'm creating a message with has the music video link in it, I'll just say their name.
A little something to make it seem personalized.
So that they know that I'm messaging them directly about it. And also another thing is like just asking permission to show them the video. You know what I mean? Would you like to check out my new video? Just send a message like that. And then you're going to get a lot more replies than if you just send your video link to everyone like, yo, check my video. If you ask people, yo, do you want to see my new video? You're going to get a lot more better response.
And you have to remember, this is a long-term game. It's not just about getting one view from somebody. Ultimately, you're trying to create fans. So if you hit somebody like, yo, what's good? I got a new music video. You know, can I send it to you? Would you like to check it? And they say yes, and then they check it. If they dig it, you have a fan now. This person's on board. They're not going to maybe click it and be like, oh, F it, I'll click it anyways, because you've kind of annoyed them. And even if it's good, you maybe don't have a fan. So it's short-sighted and poor marketing to be a little too aggressive or too spammy. And then the other one is to be too cocky, like, hey, I'm the hottest new thing. Because like, be a little bit humble and watch your clicks go up 200 or 300%. Because people want to support somebody who's a humble artist on the come up. They don't want to support somebody who's just like, I'm the hottest ish in the streets. Like, that's not appealing to somebody. You know what I mean? I think you have to go about it. Maybe that works in some places, but I don't think here in Canada that's really the vibe of what people want to support.
No.
what people want to get behind.
Nobody wants that kind of attitude. And nobody, as a booking person and someone who does shows and stuff, I don't like dealing with cocky people that have attitudes and stuff.
No.
You don't get booked.
Because you're going to have to deal with that guy. He's going to have to come to your venue, and you have to deal with this cocky little guy, and that's just annoying.
There's shows I've definitely turned down just for that reason, because I know who the artist is and I know how they move, and I just say, like, no, sorry, that's not something I want to deal with. I really enjoy working with people like Mocha Only, Freeway, who's coming up, another artist that we're bringing up from Philly, just people that have really, they're down to earth, they're humble, and they're in this the same thing as we are.
To tie back to something we said earlier, Dio, who I consider a mentor, gave me some amazing advice. He was saying it's so important to stay positive and be easy to work with and fun to be around, because ultimately there's going to be this little buffer space where they've got room for one extra artist, or one, they bring somebody into this opportunity they want to bring, and more often than not, they holler at the guy who's pleasant to be around because they got to fly there with you, or they got to spend the afternoon with you backstage, or they got to honor your rider, or even they got to give you some money, and they don't want to give money to this guy. He's a bit of an ass. This guy was really cool to be around. So, be dope, but then be nice. Like, be somebody that somebody would want to have involved. So, I think, there's a lot of rappers, if they followed that, I think they'd watch their feature bookings go up, their show bookings go up, just by following that line of thinking that, like, yo, who wants to bring you into your venue? And now we got to go back, have you backstage at my venue complaining.
Mm-hmm. Don't be a complainer. Just in life in general, just stop complaining, period. Just don't. There was one point of tonight. It was so funny in my brain. I love doing this when my brain does it because I'm like, I've trained it. It's like your brain, like you can train it to think in certain ways. And it's not stopping to not complain is something that I'm like really, really focused on. And I remember I was like getting hungry at one point there. And I'm like, and I was about to say hungry, but I was like looking forward to eating soon. You know what I mean?
It is a good adjustment,
little
man.
switch from I'm so hungry as like a complaining statement to like I'm so looking forward to the food I'm about to eat because I'm like appreciatively grateful. I know I'm about to eat something. I'm not complaining about like my present state of distress or not well-being. And you know what I mean? It just like my brain switched it mid like saying it. I'm like, I'm so
we
just boom.
We all select the
wavelengths
that we exist on. You can choose to be panicky and worry. I mean, unless you have a physical condition that affects you, but for many of us that are lucky enough, I think we can select that wavelength that you exist on, and you can do that. You can decide, well, I'm not going to be constantly in that complain that why can't I have, why I didn't this. Like, you can just flip that and be like, okay, so next time I come back here, I'm definitely bringing food. I'm not doing that again. Like, that's a totally different wavelength. Same data, you can look at the same piece of information but interpret it entirely different. Like, it's already passed. You already didn't bring lunch. Don't be pissy that you didn't bring lunch and I should have brought it. I can't believe I'm so stupid. Like, don't exist in that wavelength. You didn't. You're going to eat soon, and tomorrow bring lunch with you. Like, it's such a different place to go to, and it's, I think, wisdom. That's you learn that after so many years of being young and silly and complaining about everything that doesn't go perfectly. And so I think a lot more people could learn that sooner.
It would be good. It would be good. I like it when there's less complaints going on, for sure. And back to the being pleasant, right? You want to be pleasant, and nobody likes hanging around someone who's just complaining all the time. No one likes a negative Nelly, okay? That's what's good. Ever. Oh, all right, let's get back into some music here. CFRU 93.3 FM.
What up, Guelph?
Yes, y'all. And I got a few CDs here. I got some Timbuktu. He was hitting me up with about tossing some radio drops this way to the CFRU station. So you know what? We'll play a little Timbuktu. Give him some spins. That's what's good.
I've never met Timbuktu. I think he's like one of the only Canadian hip hop artists I've never met.
He's real dope.
Shout out to Timbuktu.
Real dope. Word up. And also, show announcement letting people know next Friday we've got The Extremities. That is Fresh Kills on the MPC and Uncle Fester on the ones and twos. They're going to be at Biggie's performing live. That's next Friday on July 18th. So come and vibe out. And a cool festival that's coming to Guelph is Hillside Festival, of course, in 2 weeks' time. Go and check it out. There's going to be some crazy performances going on. So vibe out, Hillside. You know where to get your tickets for all that good stuff. Hillsidefestival.ca, I believe it is. Check them out on Facebook and all that good stuff. We like to plug them because they are awesome. Word. And they help support a lot of artists and musicians in Guelph and surrounding areas.
Shout out to that.
Yes. All right. Let's keep it rocking and rolling here. This is Timbuktu off his album How Huge, The Legend of Howard Huge.